wet tropics is a region of spectacular beauty. Rugged mountains, fast-flowing rivers and lush rainforest. In 1988, the wet tropics of Queensland joined the World Heritage List, one of only a handful of sites worldwide. It is one of the richest areas for biodiversity on Earth, and although representing a tiny fraction of the continent's land mass, is home to many wonderful and unique plants and animals. Through a growing need for knowledge, understanding and conservation, a world-class environmental wildlife sanctuary was developed, the Rainforest Habitat. Situated at the entrance to the attractive township of Port Douglas, the Rainforest Habitat provides a window into our natural environment. Throughout the park, visitors discover the delicate interdependence of fauna and flora within the spectacular natural ecosystems of Cape York and the wet tropics region. Wandering through huge enclosures, visitors are able to interact with wildlife and observe animal behaviour close up. As a world leader in mixed immersion exhibits, the Rainforest Habitat is a wildlife park of the future.
Hi, here at the Rainforest Habitat, we take great pride in providing our guests with a unique experience, enabling them to react with a diverse range of animals from this region of Australia. The dedicated hard work of the staff has been recognised worldwide. The park is accredited with advanced ecotourism. The Rainforest Habitat has won many awards. More recently, the highly regarded Environmental Award. While playing host to dignitaries, movie stars and world leaders, Rainforest Habitat continues to grow. And while growing, hopefully increases your awareness and through that, aid the conservation of this magnificent region.
Constructed in 1988 on previously low-yield agricultural land, the Rainforest Habitat covers over 2 hectares. 2/3 of this area are covered by specially designed cyclone-proof shade cloth. The park was opened to the public in 1989 as a bird and butterfly sanctuary and has become a continually evolving ecosystem. In 1994, park management became aware of the growing concern and the need to conserve our flora and fauna. A plan was put in place to display and interpret the wildlife and flora of the wet tropics region. This dynamic and ever-evolving plan has enabled the park to gain advanced ecotourism accreditation and become a winner of major environmental awards. Today, the Rainforest Habitat is Australia's leading environmental park and contains the largest collection in immersion exhibits. The Rainforest Habitat represents 3 different and unique ecosystems: rainforest, wetlands, and savanna grasslands. Expert staff present exhibits and talks to introduce and teach visitors about the wildlife and the ecology between the different habitats. Guided tours are an important element in the Rainforest Habitat's educational role and greatly enhance guests' experience within the park. The rainforest, an intricate, mysterious and fascinating world. Considered by many to be the main attraction of the Rainforest Habitat, this amazing experience houses one of Australia's largest collections of rainforest birds and animals. A meandering walkway winds through the different levels of the rainforest, allowing visitors to experience the many micro-environments and fascinating creatures to be found here. Signage and informative guided tours describe the special interdependence of wildlife with the rainforest environment.
Remember folks, I was telling you about the Victoria's rifle bird before and how he does his display with his wings up like that? Here's how he looks there. Now he is one of the birds of paradise in Australia. There's only 4 of them around. Now he is found in our area, Wet Tropics area, Daintree National Park. Just as you come past, have a look at the sign, you can see how he does his performance.
Over waterways, through the canopy, and finally to ground level, here visitors discover displays of fish and amphibians providing a glimpse into a normally secretive and hidden world. The grasslands are an open-air exhibit. They depict regions found both inland and on the coastal plains of tropical North Queensland. Here, many species of kangaroo and wallaby wander. You can't help but interact with these famous Australian icons. As population densities increase, natural breeding habitats have become endangered. Therefore, this safe haven in the sanctuary has become a refuge to many native species. On and beside the lake, over 40 species of local native birds quite happily cohabitate with turtles, frogs, macropods, and even the notorious estuarine crocodile. Several freshwater crocodiles are also displayed in a natural lagoon. An area of significant importance are the fringing forests surrounding our rivers and waterways. These amazingly diverse, often inaccessible and yet concentrated regions are important breeding and foraging sites for many of our native wildlife. The Rainforest Habitat's vast 2-acre wetland enclosure houses over 60 species. This includes an array of wading birds, parrots, fruit bats, macropods and koalas. To enhance guests' experience and learning, an educational and experiential enclosure has been developed. Here, visitors are given the opportunity for an intimate learning experience with a host of vertebrates. The Rainforest Habitat is continually evolving. To further maximise the public's perception of the aims and principles of the park, studies and surveys have been conducted. These efforts have assured the park's leading role as an educator to aid in the preservation and conservation of our natural environment. A restaurant is also housed in the wetlands enclosure. Capable of seating over 300 guests, this area plays host to the now famous Breakfast with the Birds. Here, guests can dine on a sumptuous buffet breakfast, immersed in this fascinating environment. Other excellent facilities include a reception area, gift shop, kiosk and bar. The Rainforest Habitat has been designed to allow access and learning to all visitors and caters for many types of specific needs. This also includes specialist groups such as birdwatchers, film crews, environmentalists and educational groups. Incentive and conference groups are also catered for. The successful operation of a park of such size and diversity requires a team of highly motivated, dedicated and knowledgeable staff.
Hi, my name's Terry Carmichael. I'm the curator of the Rainforest Habitat. I'm privileged to bring to you a wonderful collection of animals here at the Habitat with the help of a very dedicated team of people. It's my job to manage the wildlife at the Rainforest Habitat, and that involves managing diets, breeding, acquisitions and administrating all the legal aspects of acquiring such a large collection of animals. The Rainforest Habitat aviaries are very large indeed. Their floor area is about 6,000 square metres. That's a little over half a hectare. In the wild, half a hectare of rainforest would contain 6 to 8 animals living in that area full time. Here at the Habitat, we have 450 to 500 animals living in the same space. The Rainforest Habitat aviaries are unique in that they contain more species and a greater density of birds and animals than any other exhibit of its kind in Australia. Another challenge is feeding the birds. We have animals that eat a whole variety of food, ranging from fruits and seeds through to fish, meats, and a whole range of insectivorous products, or crickets, mealworms, and specially made zoo products. The animals are fed in certain feeding stations, and we must be careful that there's enough feeding stations for the birds to share. As we all know, even humans are very protective about their food, and animals that don't have enough room to feed will start fighting and could in fact cause injuries. So we're continually upgrading, changing the diets, changing how we actually allow the birds to obtain their food, and making sure it's never dull or boring for them. Once an animal has eaten in the wild, it usually means that it's time to rest. Here at the Habitat, the birds can eat within 10 minutes and therefore they have the whole day to rest, which means they get up to mischief. So we keep them active by feeding them 3 to 4 times throughout the day to keep them active for our visitors to look at, and also to keep them occupied so they don't go off and chew holes through the aviary or hurt one another.
Maintenance is another constant and never-ending job at the Rainforest Habitat and continues 7 days a week. Animal welfare requires many specialised skills, and many of the park's achievements can be attributed to its highly trained staff. Other areas of expertise are horticulture, guiding, reception, the restaurant, and sales and marketing. Breeding is an important area, and successes include orange-footed scrub fowls, forest and sacred kingfishers, eastern rosellas, and reptiles such as the Boyd's forest dragon. The park also provides the region with a very important wildlife rescue service. The Rainforest Habitat Wildlife Sanctuary is associated with a wide variety of environmentally important bodies. Working together helps ensure the future preservation of our wet tropics region. With practices such as recycling water for irrigation, cultivation of flora, breeding of wildlife, recycling of wastes and skillful management, the Rainforest Habitat is a continually evolving ecosystem and a leading example of sustainable ecotourism. It's these factors which allowed the park to gain advanced ecotourism accreditation. The Rainforest Habitat has over 168 species, with over 1,600 individual animals, and is an adventure of excitement and learning.
So just down here is a male satin bowerbird and a female. The male has built what's known as a bower. The bower is an upright construction made of sticks that he glues together with a mixture of charcoal and saliva. When a female comes into the vicinity, he actually picks up blue objects and prances around to the female, chattering away and trying to attract her attention. If he's successful, they will mate in the bower and then she'll fly away and make her own nest. So he has nothing to do with raising of the chicks or the young.
The cassowary is the icon of far north Queensland. It's a wonderful bird, related to ostriches, emus and even the kiwi, in a family of birds called ratites. Cassowaries are incredibly important to the rainforests of far north Queensland, as 70 species are dependent on them and 80 are reliant on them to disperse their seed through the forest. The cassowary now is an endangered species, as most of the lowland rainforest that it used to use is now virtually used exclusively for sugarcane production. If cassowaries disappear from the wild, the makeup of the rainforest could change forever. Scientists believe there are only about 1,500 of them left in the wet tropics areas. The cassowary is one of those animals that we have to look out for. Just like the koala, urban development, cars and dogs are proving a real problem with cassowaries.
Okay folks, if you just have a look up behind you, you'll see the male eclectus parrot, the bright green parrot with the orange bill. However, the female is pictured just here. She's ruby red and purple, totally different than the male. Quite unusual in birds that the female is brighter than the male. Now our female eclectus parrot is sitting up just behind you in the breeding log. So that's why the male is sitting out there, waiting for her to come out. He might even come and give her a bit of a preen or even maybe regurgitate some food for her.
A question we're often asked is, why is there so many pigeons in the rainforest? Well, there are a lot of pigeons that live in the rainforest, quite a number of species. Some exclusively eat fruit, some exclusively eat seed, some eat a bit of both. Some of the prettiest are the smaller fruit doves, like the rose-crowned fruit pigeon or the superb fruit dove. The prettiest of all, the magnificent or wampu pigeon, is a spectacle. You have to see it to believe it. These animals eat fruit. They pass the seed out unharmed and therefore aid in the dispersal of certain plants throughout the rainforest. These are wonderful animals, and at the Rainforest Habitat we have around about 8 species in the rainforest aviary. The orange-footed scrub fowl is an interesting bird. It belongs to a group of birds called megapodes, or mound builders. You might all know the Australian brush turkey. It lives up and down the east coast of Australia and raids a lot of picnic areas in national parks. Well, the orange-footed scrub fowl is related to this bird. It builds a huge mound of decomposing vegetation, has the largest nest of any living bird. These nests can measure 5 metres high, about 12 metres wide. Inside this mound, the orange-footed scrub fowl female lays very big eggs, Not just any old egg, 20% of her body weight. Considering she can lay 12 of those a season, that's a huge amount of energy. But there is an advantage in laying such a big egg. It means when the chicks hatch, they are totally independent and able to care for themselves. No parental care needed whatsoever.
One of the other special birds we have here at the habitat is what we call the jabiru or black-necked stork. We term it the icon of the northern wetlands of Australia. These magnificent animals are predators of such things as eels, fish and turtles, frogs and so on that you find in the wetlands area.
An icon to the zoo world, the Rainforest Habitat is seen as a must-do when visiting the region. Visitors have included world leaders to movie stars, and all have enjoyed this magnificent eco-experience. Interpretation is an important element of ecotourism, in that it not only provides visitors with an educational experience, but also an enjoyable experience, one in which they achieve a sense of feeling, even passion for the environment and its inhabitants. The Rainforest Habitat Wildlife Sanctuary is one which allows guests to experience wildlife up close. It's hoped that through interaction with our wildlife and truly appreciating our natural environment, that visitors take with them a new awareness and desire to protect it forever.